myself. I'm Rebecca Shulman. I'm Senior Program Director at JVS, and I want to welcome all of you to join us this afternoon for this very informative topic about accessibility, website accessibility specifically. I know for me, I'm going to learn a lot of things I actually never thought about, and I'm really excited to be part of this presentation. So I just want to take 1 minute to thank, and I don't know that our NJDVRS partners are on the call yet, but some of them are joining us. I want to thank New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehab Services for enabling JVS to provide services to employers in specifically in Essex, Morris, and Passaic counties through their Innovation and Expansion Program Employment First Grant. We're real excited to have this grant and to be able to provide lots of different training programs for employers. This program enables JVS to provide a variety of no-cost services to employers, including on-site or virtual training geared to employers' needs, access to a pool of work-ready potential employees, enables us to raise awareness of the benefits of hiring employees who have disabilities, and works to dispel myths associated with the cost of hiring individuals who have disabilities. And if anybody is interested in any additional training specific to their company, if you reply back to Dana, who sent out the invitation for this training, I also put my information into the chat box. You can reach out to me directly. That would also be great. So I also wanted to just mention 2 other events that we have coming up. One is going to be on October 10th. It's an in-person event from 9:30 to noon. The topic is employing individuals with disabilities, and we're really going to be focusing on legal responsibilities, navigating the interactive process, and disability etiquette. And that event is going to be co-sponsored by the Employer Association of New Jersey. It will be at Essex County College on Bloomfield Avenue in Caldwell, but you do need to register, so you can reach out to me if you're interested in that as well, with my information. The other event is going to be on October 28th, where we are hosting an employer recognition event honoring employers who have been hiring individuals who have disabilities. And this is it's always been a big event. It's also part of Disability Employment Awareness Month in October. Our county executive in Essex County, Joe DiVincenzo, will be there. Plus we have some other guest speakers. So we're real excited about that. It's going to be at the Wilshire Grand. So it's going to be also an in-person event. If you're interested in participating, it is by registration only. There is no cost for either of these events, but you just need to register. So I will put my information again in the chat box. Please feel free to reach out to me and let me know that you're interested. And now it is my pleasure to present Tanner Gers, who's going to tell you a little bit about himself and then get on to the topic at hand. Tanner?
Thank you so much, Rebecca and Dana, for allowing me and Julie, my assistant, to be here and present on this topic. It means so much to me. And let's go ahead. I'm going to start sharing my screen here. And let's see, 1 second. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sharing the screen now. Julie, if you want to go ahead and request control.
Sure.
All right. 1 moment. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is the offense and defense of digital accessibility. And I'm going to talk about a little bit why that's important, why it's important for you, why businesses should be focused on this, not just from a legal compliance perspective, but actually what's the opportunities, what's the benefits, what's the offense that we can gain, what's the points we can put up on the board as business owners when we talk about web accessibility compliance. And again, my name is Tanner Gers. I'm in a unique position. I was just an all-American kid growing up, never really had, considered myself disabled. even though I was diagnosed ADHD before there was ever an H, just ADD. And then I was diagnosed hard of hearing while in high school in the sound booth, got the headphones on and everything. And basically it takes an airplane to go by the right side of my head for me to hear it. But then one day, when I was 21 years old, I was driving home from the enlistment office. This was just after 9/11. I was highly influenced by that tragic day, and I wanted to serve my country. It was really important to me. And on my way home, it was in Tucson, Arizona. I was eastbound on Speedway Boulevard, one car back from the intersection, and I saw for the first time in my life, I saw a blind man. Now, I had volunteered at Easter Seals growing up, right? So I had been around people with severe disabilities, mobility disabilities, and that was in the mid-90s before the ADA, the Americans with Disabilities Act, was really a big thing, right? So we had to bring our ramps and all these different little devices that we would bring to help these individuals who needed motorized wheelchairs to get into the building, right? The physical building. And so I'm looking at this blind guy getting ready to cross the street, and he's got his cane lifted up. It's horizontally across his body. It's parallel to the ground, perpendicular to his body, and it's head height. And he's holding it out in front of him. And I didn't know. I was just like, oh wow, I guess that's how you do it. And if you've been around people who are blind, you know that that's not how you do it. But I didn't know. I had never met a blind person before. And just 2 weeks later from that day, I would wake up in the hospital after a car accident with my jaw wired shut, bone sticking out of my face, my back broken, and I would also wake up totally blind. No light perception, no nothing. So I went from totally blind, after college, already working, leading a team, to now being totally blind and not really understanding what I'm going to do, how I'm going to do it, or what the next steps look like for me. And immediately, to my surprise, how would I have known, right? But to my surprise was the amount of discrimination and the changes that I would see in people and how they would interact with me. Now, I'm in my early 20s. Whenever I applied for a job, if I got the interview, I got the job. I knew how to communicate my value, right? If I went to a doctor's office, I never had an issue before. If I was going to school, I never had a problem enrolling into classes or anything like that. But all of a sudden, my friends, my family, they start treating me different. The doctors are treating me differently. They're talking to me as if I'm stupid. It was as if I don't understand what's going on, as if I'm not capable, if I'm not intellectually inclined. When I was enrolling into school, I began to face discrimination with the enrollment process. You can't enroll in this class because you're not smart enough. There's going to be group work. You're not fast enough. How are you going to deliver a presentation? And when I would start to, when I was going through the hiring process, I didn't understand that, the hiring manager across from me, they didn't realize how blind I was until I told them, right? Because I'm making eye contact. I'm talking with my hands. I understand the importance of body language and what it means to communicate, right? So they didn't really know until I told them. And then once I tell them, everything changes. And so you don't really know how different things are until you become that difference. And so maybe we call it, the universe, maybe we call it meant to be, call it whatever you want, right? But here we are I'm finding myself as a person who never had a disability and never had a problem, to me facing unimaginable problems, unimaginable barriers. And I thought to myself, holy crap. If someone like me, who's motivated, who's driven, who can communicate, who can articulate themselves, who considers themselves to be at least average intelligence, if someone like me is struggling, what about everybody else? What about people who don't have the education, who don't have the experience, who don't have the understanding of the way the world works, who haven't led teams before, who haven't been in jobs, who haven't graduated? Like, what do these people do? And that was when I knew, as an early blind man, that when I'm in the position to hire blind, I'm going to do that. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I don't know what that looks like, but I know that as an entrepreneur, the blood that pumps through me, when I create the opportunity for myself, I am going to give that opportunity to other people. And that ended up manifesting itself and maturing itself into our organizational vision at Accessibility Officer, which I founded in 2021. And our vision is that the US disabled unemployment rate is the same as the US unemployment rate. And in order for us to do that, we got to do a lot of things. And one of those things, in addition to so many other things, but one of those things is digital accessibility. And that is the focus of our presentation today. I am a small business owner myself. I hire blind. We've got a team of, somewhere in the low teens in terms of number of people. We're over 10 people. We have built our own internal software. We do a digital accessibility testing practice, and then we have our vocational rehabilitation training programs, specifically the Certified Accessibility Tester program, the Getting Hired Playbook. We do all these things to help people get hired that have disabilities. And we do all these things within digital accessibility compliance to help businesses, governments, and educational institutions make sure that they are what we call disability ready, right? Meaning that we are ready for our customers that have disabilities. We are ready for our students that have disabilities. We are ready for our employees that have disabilities. We are ready for people that have disabilities. And the fact of the matter is, just like me, disability happens. So whether it's happened to you in the past, a family member in the past, or you become temporarily disabled later in life, right? It always happens, right? Grandparents lose their sight, parents lose their sight, they lose their hearing, they lose their cognitive function, they lose their mobility. Disability will happen. It's just a matter of when. And my focus is helping ensure that everybody is disability ready for when that intersectionality happens. So digital accessibility. Why is this important to you? Let's get right into the slide deck. So Huli, if you don't mind helping me with some of the slides, let's go to the next one. Why is this important to you? So of course there's brand, right? Website traffic, customer acquisition costs, right? Your CAC, multiple optimization, SEO, or search engine optimization, user experience and conversions, operating capital, right? Operational capital, because there's a legal compliance issue here. And how did we get here? Let's go ahead and go to the next slide. And just a real quick or high level overview of digital accessibility compliance. So if you guys don't know, digital accessibility or web accessibility compliance under the Americans with Disabilities Act is the same thing like physical accessibility, right? So you got your ramps, you got your doorways, your handicapped parking spaces and bathrooms. Those are regulations, legal requirements that apply to the physical environment. And today, the US Supreme Court, the Department of Justice, recognize websites today as places of business, right? E-commerce happens, commerce happens, transactions happen. And so in the United States, if you're a business and you have a website, legally, you're required to comply with the Americans with Disabilities Act. This is not as an employer, right? You don't have to have a certain number of employees or anything like that. Those regulations under the ADA are different. This is a public accommodation because you, as a business owner, are serving the public. And your website today is now recognized no differently than your place of business, the actual place where you get mail and you show up and you have an office and a desk, all of those things, just like those have the same type of requirements under the ADA for wide door frames, counter heights, bathrooms, etc. The same things apply to your website. And that's what we're going to talk about in this presentation. So how did we get here? It's really about money, the law, and opportunity. And I kind of discussed this, right? But there were about 817 digital accessibility lawsuits that were filed in 2017, and that skyrocketed up to over 4,000 in 2023. We're on track to being closer to that 5,000 number at the end of 2024. Now, this completely dwarfs how many cases were settled. We don't know how many thousands of lawsuits that were settled outside of court. We also don't know how many thousands, any more thousands and thousands of demand letters and threats of litigation were sent out to small businesses like you on a daily basis in 2023 or 2024. How many demand letters were sent? We don't know. This is not documented, right? So as a result, all of these lawsuits, you got to fix it. You got to be compliant. And all of these digital accessibility software, AI, automation companies started popping up. You may have heard of some of these companies like AccessAbility or UserWay or AudioEye. And if you're in the space like I am, you know about the litigation that's happening against these companies, right? And we'll go into that a little bit later. Basically, the short story is that these companies are now being sued for fraudulently claiming that they're going to fix your website for accessibility just by installing a line of code. It can't happen. It doesn't happen. It won't happen. It is all false. It's fictitious. And all of these companies are being sued by our government agencies right now. So how do you protect your business? Let's go to the next slide, please, Huli. We want to do digital accessibility testing and reports. So what does that mean? That means automated testing. We're going to show you some of that live here on today's call. We're going to do manual testing with screen readers. We're going to do that on today's call. And you want to show periodic reports of showing, hey, this is my compliance status, and this is how we're moving forward. Essentially, to be legally compliant, you don't have to have everything super duper fixed up, but you need to be showing progress. You need to be showing improvement, and you need to have this documented, meaning like we're actually doing this work. So if you're doing automated testing, manual testing, and you're reporting on it and improving upon it, you're in a good position. Most companies are not. Most companies don't have a digital accessibility policy statement on their website. What is your digital accessibility policy? Do you have one? If you don't, you can copy ours at accessibilityofficer.com, right? And I will show you that later, right? Don't use an accessibility overlay. If you want to protect yourself, you don't want to use an accessibility overlay. We're going to be demonstrating one of those later on this call. But an accessibility overlay, I kind of already mentioned, that is a company that will tell you you can fix website accessibility compliance just by installing one line of code on your website. AccessAbility, UserWay, AudioEye. There's a ton of these different companies that all provide the same thing, a line of code that magically changes your website completely for people with disabilities and makes you compliant across everything. It's just not possible. It's not true, and it won't ever be true. And we'll go into more reasons for why that is. So the other thing that you can do, and something that we created just for you guys on this presentation, is the DIY Digital Accessibility Compliance Guide. So there will be a QR code later in this presentation that will get you the direct page where you can download this. It's a free resource that we created that literally teaches you how to do automated testing. It teaches you how to do manual testing, and it teaches you the specific success criteria that you want to focus on, the areas of your website that you want to focus on to make sure that you're protected. So in short, everything that we include on today's presentation is going to be free. Everything on today's presentation is going to help you protect your business. And everything that we provide for you today is going to provide you step-by-step instructions on exactly how to do this. Now, why are we doing this? Why are we providing it for free? And why do companies work with us? We provide this information for free, and we do this to make sure that companies are protected and they know how to improve digital accessibility compliance. All of this stuff is free anywhere. It's out there on the interwebs. We create it and boil it down to make it actually actionable for businesses today. And then the companies that work with us, they're too busy. They don't have enough team or bandwidth to do it. And really, they just want to make sure that it's taken care of. No different than when they have their website built, or if they're running paid advertisements, whatever they're doing to hire someone to help them in their business, we do the same thing for digital accessibility compliance. So if that's you, later on in this presentation, you can work with us to engage on helping you ensure your website accessibility compliance, but none of that is needed. You can do all of it, and all the resources we provide you today will equip you to do just that. So let's see. Let's go to the next slide. And Huli, can you confirm with me that that is the slide that what do lawyers do?
That's correct.
Thank you. All right. So this is what lawyers are doing right now. in how do we get to 4,000, 5,000 lawsuits? This is what lawyers do. There has been a boutique industry of ADA lawyers who literally go out and attack small businesses and threaten litigation for basically an extortion racket to try to get you to pay thousands of dollars so that you don't get sued. That's the whole game. That's the playbook, right? And this is how they go about putting some muscle right behind those threats. Right. This is what they do. One, they go to your website and they do an automated accessibility test of your homepage. Basically, they sniff around to see what's the level of compliance. Right. Again, automated tests do not completely cover you. This is just how lawyers quickly assess you as a business and how much money they can squeeze out of you. They use software. Two, they find a blind plaintiff. Once they've established that there's a problem through automated testing, they find someone who can sue you. Three, the plaintiff will sometimes, but not always, sometimes will manually test your website to validate the claim. Okay. Some plaintiffs, there are serial blind plaintiffs. Quick Google search will help you find these people. They are out there. But sometimes the plaintiff will actually manually test your website to validate that the claim is legitimate. Later on in this presentation, I'm going to show you exactly what that manual testing with a screen reader looks like. Four, the lawyer sends you a demand letter basically asking for money. Okay? That's all they do. And then what do you do as a business? How you respond will determine whether or not they sue you. It'll determine whether or not you pay them. It'll determine what happens next. Now, this gets back to your operating capital. A lot of small businesses today probably can't shoulder that well a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 situation that you now have to pay for out of the blue. If you raise your hand, right? If a $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 operational cash flow hit, is that going to affect your business? Raise your hand if that's going to affect your business. Right? That's what these lawyers are doing. And this is what this presentation is going to help protect you from. All right. So let's go to the next slide. And how do we go on ADA defense? All right. So one is we want to pick a free or low cost accessibility automation tool. In the DIY digital accessibility compliance guide, what we're later on in this presentation, we're going to give you a QR code so you can go right to the link and download it, as well as all that is in that compliance guide. It shares with you like 3 or 4 free automated accessibility tools, and it teaches you how to run those. And I'm going to show you how to do that on this presentation. But you want to test your homepage. Okay, that's the first thing that you want to do, and then you want to remove the violations that software can find. Okay. If you've got less than 10 compliance violations on your homepage that software can find, the lawyers are probably going to move on. They may still send you a threat or a demand letter, but if you have awareness on what your compliance status is like and you know that your compliance is good, then you can brush that off. But what would you do if you had a ton of violations or if you didn't know what your compliance status was? That's why it's so important to at least do automated testing. The next thing that you want to do to protect yourself is publish an accessibility statement. This can be templated language. We have a super robust accessibility statement on our website. It documents everything that we do for accessibility, how we maintain accessibility, and it provides communication mechanisms for people to report if there's an issue. Those 3 things are critical. Number 5, again, it's so critical, I put it as its own bullet point. Provide a way for your customers to provide feedback. This is one of the things that the courts look at in litigation to determine what's your disability readiness, how accessibility compliant you are. Most businesses are not compliant. The courts know this, but how you approach it, what's your policies, what's your process, and how you actively taking control over the situation is all coming into judgment or consideration in these lawsuits. All right. So make sure that you've got a policy posted on your website. You want to make sure that that's linked in the footer navigation of your website. 6, go further with a DIY digital accessibility compliance guide. So you do these 5 things, you're going to be in a good space, right? Do an automated test, fix those violations, put up an accessibility policy, provide a way for customers to provide feedback. You do those things, you're going to be in great shape. Okay. But you'll need to go further. Right now, lawyers are just sniffing. This will become more difficult to maintain. This will become more difficult in the future. But right now, lawyers are looking for the low-hanging fruit. And if you don't do these minimal things, you are the low-hanging fruit. So the next thing that we want to do, let's go to the next slide, please. And let's go on ADA offense, right? How do we actually, if we're going to do this, we're going to put in effort, like maybe we should get something positive from it, right? It's not all about defense. And you can absolutely capture that. Oh, there's a lot of marketing field or road to gain just by doing accessibility compliance. This will go further. It goes a little bit further than the DIY digital accessibility playbook or a compliance guide, but this will definitely help you get started in this direction. Highly, highly, highly recommended. So you want to combine your marketing with website accessibility. A lot of people don't know this, but your search engine optimization, your technical SEO, if you follow compliance standards, your website will be technically search engine optimized. Another big thing, if you guys are into the marketing space, is mobile optimization. You're driving customers from social to your website. That's happening on mobile devices. So making sure that your website's mobile optimized is going to have a positive return on investment. You're going to convert more visitors into customers. Guess what also covers mobile optimization? Digital accessibility compliance. Because many people today with disabilities only engage on mobile devices. People who are quadriplegics, people who have limb differences or paralysis are primarily using Android tablets and mobile devices to engage with digital environments because of the accessibility features in those tablets and mobile devices. It is a game changer for people with disabilities. So if you're running ads or you're doing a content strategy that drives traffic to your website, there's going to be people with paralysis. There's going to be people with limb differences. There's going to be people with cognitive impairments, developmental disabilities, and definitely those who are blind visiting your website. You can't exclude people with disabilities, right? You can only prepare for them. So you want to combine marketing with website accessibility. You can do this by partnering or creating your own in-house team, okay? 2 is you want to focus your business on creative, the ads, and driving traffic. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to drive your business. You're trying to get people to buy. You should focus on that, okay? 3, maintain minimal compliance and do weekly accessibility scans to make sure that you're protected. Okay, that's the defense part, right? If you're going to be driving traffic to your website, you probably want to make sure that you're at least minimally compliant. So make sure that you don't have any automated violations, right? And do those checks on a regular basis. Anytime you do a new campaign, you do a new promotion, you do a new landing page, do an automated test. Make sure that you're protected. 4 is you want to maximize conversions and UX or user experience with accessibility quality assurance or QA testing. Essentially, you want to do manual. You would not build a website, put together a campaign or products. You would not launch a website without testing it first. Hey, can I add a cart? Can I add this item to the cart? Can I check out? Does payment processing, does that work? You wouldn't launch a website with payment processing before testing the payment processing actually works. It just makes sense, right? The same thing is true with accessibility QA. If you're testing manually for QA, you're also going to maximize the conversions and the user experience just because you're including those best practices for accessibility. We have countless customers who come to us and we let them know, hey, you've got this accessibility barrier in your checkout process, in your shopping experience. And by the way, it's also causing friction for your other customers too. Yes, this is a barrier for a screen reader. It's a barrier for a blind person. It's a barrier for a person who uses speech to text technology. But this is also a barrier for just regular individuals who are using a mouse or not. So number 5 is mobile SEO, and mobile SEO, search engine optimization, and mobile optimization with QA. We're going to find, by manually testing your website, you're going to improve technical search engine optimization and mobile optimization. In other words, Google is going to love you a whole lot more. And when people land on your website, it's going to be a better experience for them. Right. So at the end of the day, digital accessibility and manual testing makes your website better, easier to use for everybody. Here's one example that you guys know and are familiar with and probably use on a daily basis, regardless of whether or not you have a disability, but it's accessibility related. In the 90s, closed captioning became big on TV. Today, we use closed captioning to make sure that everybody around us doesn't know what television program I'm watching, what ad I'm watching, what video I'm watching, or what content I'm watching. How many of you guys earlier today, watched a video with closed captioning? Right? That's accessibility. In other words, that's a better user experience for you because I'm accessible, right? People without disabilities take advantage of accessibility compliance without even knowing it. They don't understand that a better user experience, a better customer experience is happening because accessibility is embedded. Closed captioning is so embedded into the societal consciousness. If there's a video that doesn't come with closed captioning, even if you're not deaf, you're pissed because you can't read it if you want to. Optionality, very, very important. So let's go to the next slide, which is how to test your website for ADA compliance. So if we have enough time, I can do some live testing for your guys' websites, but I've got one queued up for you, and it's so perfect. So now I have discretionary income. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, just like you guys are, and I get served up ads all the time. The first time I made a purchase on Facebook through an ad was to Gorilla Healing. It's a veteran-owned business based in Florida, and they do like nutrition, kind of like supplements and like other kinds of healing stuff. I was so into that, and I was having this pain, and I made a $400 plus purchase, right? People with disabilities have discretionary income. They are getting your ads and they are clicking through to your website, right? But what happens when you don't have accessibility compliance layered in? What happens when you take the easy way out, quote unquote easy way out, and it's actually the wrong way out, and you put in an accessibility overlay? I'm going to demonstrate for you exactly what happens. This is the website I'm about to show you is a website that I found because of a Facebook ad. I literally tried to make the purchase on mobile and I could not do it. I was so motivated to buy the product. I sent the website to my email. I emailed it to myself, and I then tried to make the purchase on desktop, on my laptop, and I still couldn't do it. I mean, how frustrating, right? Like, what if that was you? What if that was your business? Someone so desperately wants to buy your product, you paid an advertisement to serve them. You paid for that. You paid for that traffic. They're trying to buy and they just can't. So that's what I'm going to show you guys right now. Let's see. Let me let's see if I can do this right. All right, I'm going to share with you guys my sound.
Share sound checked.
You guys are going to hear what a screen reader sounds like.
Leaving menus, PowerPoint slides, AccessAbility Officer dash Google Chrome,
And you guys are going to hear how a totally blind person navigates with a screen reader on a website. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do first and what the experience should be like. And then after I do it, I'm going to recap that for you. So Huli, can you confirm that my screen reader is talking?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Land.
So
title is AccessAbility Officer that virtual PC land.
Okay, so
Access
here we are.
same
We're at the
visited
top
link
of the page here.
Visited link about.
So I'm on the About link.
Visited link about.
Oh, let me change my sound. I'm sorry, it's going really fast.
Screen share, PowerPoints. This meeting is the offense via JAWS Home Manual. JAWS Home Manual. Options. Voice adjustment. Enter. Voice and speak sample, but voice voice rate colon 71, 27, 17%, 8, 19%, 20%, 6, enter, JAWS home manual.
All right, that should be a little bit better.
Task switching, Accessibility Officer dash Google Chrome.
So this is our website, the Accessibility Officer website.
Visited link about.
Now, here I'm at on the About link. If you guys can see it, I'm gonna hit the Tab key, and I'm gonna navigate around this menu, this navigation menu, so you guys can see how my focus is changing as I'm navigating through the link. So I'm gonna hit Tab.
Accessibility Officer, banner region, list with 2 items, blog link.
All right, so now I'm on the blog.
Search region, submit edit, blank, placeholder, search ... To set the value, use the arrow keys or type the value.
Right, you guys, that told me as a screen reader user a lot. It told me that I'm now in a search field, and it also told me how to use the search field, right, where I can type something in like blog.
BLOG.
And now I know, because of how this search field was labeled programmatically,
Janet Sewell.
even though you can't see it, I know that I can down arrow and see search results.
Blog, submit list with 5 items, 6 easy steps to.
Now, if that wasn't labeled accordingly and I just typed in blog, I would have hit enter and I wouldn't have found any search results, because that's not how this search function works. Right? So I'm now going to shift tab out of this. I'm going to come back into the menu.
List with 2 items, blog link.
Right? So now I'm on the blog. So now if I hit spacebar or enter, I should go to the blog.
Enter. Accessibility Officer document, blog bullet Accessibility Officer.
So I'm stopping the screen reader because that told me 2 things. 1, it told me that I activated the link. 2, it told me where I'm at, the blog. Now I'm going to navigate by heading. Okay. I'm programmatically going to navigate by heading so that I can understand how this page is laid out. Headings, if you're looking at a website, are typically text that's larger, bolder, or stylized in a different way to break up content, right? Sighted people will use a website and skim the website for these headers. Blind people and people with disabilities use assistive technology in the same way. I'm saying blind because that's me. But if I'm a speech to text user, like I don't have function of my limbs, that, I can't use a mouse or a keyboard, right? I'm going to use this very similarly. If I'm going to use a different assistive technology, like an eye gaze or facial recognition technology, if we think about the late Dr. Stephen Hawking, right? He would use facial recognition and eye gaze technology to move the mouse around the computer. And then he would use a screen reader, like what I use, to actually speak. So that voice that you hear, that's very similar to this one.
Title is blog bullet Accessibility Officer dash.
That's how Dr. Stephen Hawking spoke. He used a screen reader to do that. So he was using multiple assistive technologies to write books, to lecture, to do all of that stuff. So now I know I'm on the blog, and I'm going to navigate by heading.
The Accessibility blog heading level 1.
Right, heading level 1. Every page should have a heading level 1, and it's the title page. This tells a person with a disability, this is the page that I'm on. I'm at the top of the content, and this is the content, the general information.
Heading level 1, the Accessibility blog.
The Accessibility blog is what content is on this page. Now, if I navigate by heading, notice heading level 1.
Heading level 1.
That's the number. There should be only one heading level 1 on a page. Everything else, heading level 2, heading level 3, should have a structure to it. So more important things will be heading level 2s. Lesser important things will be heading level 3s, and so on. So here we go.
DIY Digital Accessibility Compliance Guide visited heading level 2 link.
So this is the compliance guide that we built for you guys. All right. This is what we're going to be sharing with you later. I'm going to go to the next heading.
Case study : VB Cosmetics Inc. Heading level 2 link.
Okay. So this is heading level 2. This is a case study we did with VB Cosmetics, an online retailer who we helped through a difficult growth phase in their business. They too were threatened with ADA website accessibility litigation.
Buying guide for digital accessibility.
Right. So this is how a person with a disability may begin to engage with your website. This is what success looks like. This is programmatic structure. This is, hey, when I'm on a page, it tells me.
Title is blog bullet Accessibility.
What page I'm on, right? And as I activate links, like
Links list
I
view.
can bring up the links list like this with my assistive technology.
Access about 3
and I can
current page
quickly,
blog 4 of
oh,
50.
look, I know
Current page blog 4.
the current page is on the blog, but
LinkedIn 5 of
if I wanted to
53.
go to maybe the company LinkedIn page
YouTube
or
6
the
of 50.
YouTube
Link
account, I
about
could do
3 of
that. But maybe I
53.
just want to learn more about this business. If I hit enter on this,
Enter.
it's gonna
Blog bullet.
take me to the page, right? And so as I confirm this with my screen reader,
Title is About Us Bullet Accessibility Officer dash Google Chrome.
right? About us, I'm gonna go to the first heading.
Meet the leaders heading level 1.
Meet the leaders. That's exactly what this content is about.
Heading level 2 Tanner Gers.
I just down arrowed one time, heading level 2. Here I am, Tanner Gers,
Founder and Managing Director.
founder and managing director. This is what a digital accessibility experience looks like. I know what's on this page, so if I hit B for button with my screen reader, it should jump me to the play button.
Listen up to a story of Tanner Gers, founder of Accessibility Officer button.
Even better, because my team has this button labeled so well that I know when I press it, I'm going to hear.
Listen up to a story of Tanner Gers, founder of Accessibility Officer button.
Right? What does that mean from digital accessibility perspective? This means that if I engage with this element, this button, this video, I know exactly what's going to happen. When I ask my screen reader, what page am I on?
Title is About Us Bullet Accessibility Officer dash.
I know I'm on the About page. And if I want to know what interactive element I'm on,
Listen up to a story of Tanner Gers, founder of Accessibility Officer button.
I know exactly where I am. This is digital accessibility. Now, let's see the opposite. Let's see what digital accessibility should not look like.
Alt F4, JAWS Home app, screen sharing PowerPoint slot. This meeting is being the offense vs defense of screen power. This meeting is the offense v JAWS Home, screen sharing meeting PowerPoint. This meeting is the offense v JAWS Home, screen share.
Okay.
Search
So
UT
things
Outlook
happen.
left parent
Good
classic route.
thing.
Enter.
Your boy
Opening.
is prepared, and I had a suspicion
Blank.
that this might happen. So I'm
not able to join early. I'm waiting for inbox dash Tanner
I
dot
sent the
home.
link to myself.
Unread FLX unread FLX unread FLX.
Thank y'all so much for downloading the DIY Digital Accessibility Compliance Guide. Love y'all so much for that.
Unread Heather Burns v unread Otter.I unread Otter. Unread Dan Moore G unread Scott Long unread meeting summary with unread Zoom unread Tanner Gers Arctic 2
Here it
enter.
is.
Link
I get a lot of emails.
HTTP JAWS version
So,
2 enter
I'm bringing up this
HTTPS : Arctic Cool vertical bar cooling act for screen dash reader mode dash click the first button of the website. Page has 4 regions. Arctic.
Okay, so this is it. Arctic, cool. I got this Facebook ad. Now, post-COVID, I don't know if anybody has like similar COVID, long-tail COVID issues, but my body is not great at regulating body temperature anymore. And it's super frustrating for me because I love to play sports. I don't really care to watch sports. I'm not a big sports fan, but I am super active in sports. I play goalball, I play beat baseball, I run track and field. I do a lot of different sports activities. I absolutely love it. And so now I'm having a problem regulating my core body temperature. So when I get this ad for, hey, here's some clothing that helps you stay cool, I'm all in and I'm trying to buy. So here is this website. I'm going to read from up at the top.
Arctic Cool vertical bar cooling activewear and shirts for men and women. Janet Sewell has joined.
So that's awesome, right? And I'm going to start to down arrow. Listen to this.
Use website in a screen dash reader mode toggle button not pressed.
Use website.
Use website in a screen dash reader mode.
In a screen reader mode, not pressed. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an accessibility overlay. This is what you should not do. If you've done this and you've been convinced by their marketing or sales tactics, I understand. I appreciate it. I've been a person without a disability and I didn't know the implications. This right here is a big red target on your business's back that says to any ADA website lawyer, sue me, because I know I'm not accessible and every lawyer knows these don't make you accessible. There are innumerable numbers of settlements where that have been publicly published that say these don't work. And I can provide plenty of resources on that, but don't do this.
Link same page
coming
link.
Down.
Open AccessAbility free shipping in the link Arctic Cool rewards : sign in or join now.
So I can sign in or join now.
List of 1 items. Link. Log in.
Log in. Okay.
List end.
The list is over. So it's a list of 1 item.
Button.
What is this button?
Button.
What does that do? Close your eyes and listen to this, and then tell me what you think this function does.
Button.
Does that give any blind person a clue about what to do?
Button.
Think about the video that I was on and the button that told you exactly what was going to happen when you hit that button. Is that happening here?
Button.
No.
That's right. It's not.
Link.
So that
Button.
right there is an accessibility violation. Here's another one.
Link.
Link. Link to what?
Link. 0.
0. Because I know a lot about e-commerce websites, I know that that link is to the shopping cart. And that's telling me
Link 0.
there's 0 items in my shopping cart. But did that say shopping cart?
No.
Would a lay person know that?
List of 3 items. Visited link man.
All right, so here we go, min. Now, I'm on the min link. Huli, can you confirm that the focus of my screen reader is on the min link?
So a few minutes ago, we could see your focus, but right now we cannot see it.
The cool vertical man.
Now I can see it. Perfect.
Okay. So you can see I'm on the min link.
And no,
I'm not on the min link.
no.
Okay, so y'all, this is an example of inaccessible websites because my screen reader is telling me
Visited link man.
I'm on the min link. So if I hit enter here, my screen reader is telling me
Visited link man.
I would go to the min link. But as Huli just confirmed, even though my screen reader is telling me
Visited link man.
if I hit enter, I'm not going to go anywhere. So let's try it.
Enter.
You guys heard me hit enter. Did anything change?
Yes.
Oh,
Now,
it did.
yes, but the focus is not there. So,
Okay. So the fact that something changed and I didn't get notified, that's a website. That's an accessibility violation. Let's see what page we're on. Now, mind you, I'm totally blind. I have no visual way to see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is use my screen reader to see what page I'm on.
Title is Arctic Cool Vertical Bar Cooling Activewear and Shirts for Men and Women - Google Chrome - Tanner. Arctic Cool Vertical Bar Cooling Activewear and Shirts.
So to me, my screen reader still says I'm on the home page. And if I see where I'm at,
Visited link man.
it still says I'm on the min page. So I don't know. Let me try to figure out what's going on. So let me try to navigate by heading.
Back in stock. Women's 3/4 sleeve shirt in new colors. Heading level 4.
Okay, so the fact that that heading level 4 is the first heading on the page is meh. Doesn't really tell me anything except that they got this new product back in stock. Go to the next heading.
Cooling activewear and accessories for men and women. Heading level 1.
All right, that is an appropriate heading level 1.
Bestsellers. Heading level 2 link.
That is an appropriate heading level 2, right? Here's best sellers.
Long sleeve shirts. Heading level 2.
Okay, long sleeve shirts. Okay, great. So I don't want to lose sight of the fact that I was literally trying to find something on the men's page. Okay, I hit enter on the men and I'm not on the men's page. I can confirm that by looking. Let me apologize for that if you guys can hear that.
Heading level 2 long.
So, sorry, a little distracted. There is my ADD kicking in. Holy cow, I got a phone call and now I'm all distracted.
Heading level 2
so,
long sleeve shirts.
long sleeve shirt. All right, men. So I'm gonna confirm that I'm not on the men page. I'm gonna go to the URL.
Control L. Address and search bar edit. https://arcticcool.com/ variation equals a and underline source equals clavio and
That didn't say men. Okay. Huli, visually, does it look like I'm on the men's page?
yes, right now it looks like, let me
the
scroll.
cool vertical.
Yes.
Escape.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heading level 2 long sleeve shirts.
All right. So let me
No,
try
wait
to.
a second. No, we are still in the homepage.
I know we're still on the homepage. Yep. So right now, let's see. All right. I'm trying to access the men. All I'm trying to do, y'all, is access the men's link. That's all I'm trying to do so far. And this is how difficult it is.
JAWS home skip arc login 0 men 8 of 134.
Now I'm using my screen reader to navigate specifically to the men's link.
Men 8 of 134.
Can you guys see that here?
Yes.
All right. Now I'm going to hit enter and you'll hear me hit enter.
Enter. Arctic Cool vertical bar cooling activewear and shirts for men and for screen dash reader mode dash click the for cooling.
All right, now it seems like we're on a new page. I'm going to check what the page is.
Title is cooling clothes vertical bar men's cool clothing vertical bar.
Dang, finally, that's what it took for me to get to the men's link. Like, I couldn't just activate the link itself. The reason they couldn't do that is because of web accessibility compliance violations, y'all. Now, let's just run an automated scan. I'm doing manual testing, and I know a lot of you in the DIY Digital Accessibility Compliance Guide, it talks about how to use tab and shift tab, how to use your arrows up and down, how to use the space bar and enter to activate links. It teaches you all of that. I just wanted to show you live how frustrating it is for me as a person with a disability to use an inaccessible website. I'm literally trying to strategize and figure out ninja tactics to just buy something. Is that the type of customer experience you want? So,
Cooling.
let's do an automated digital accessibility scan. I'm going to do what's called dev tools, but you guys don't, let me think about this. How do I want to make this super easy for y'all? There's a couple different ways to run this. I'm going to hit F12. All right, I'm hitting F12 on my keyboard.
F12 Dev Tools is Dr. Right. Dev Tools tab.
Now I've got a couple different extensions loaded up that I can access from here.
More tabs button menu toggle elements element new style toggle select toggle of more tabs.
I'm gonna hit this more.
Enter context accessibility assessment.
And I'm
10
gonna
of
hit
10.
accessibility assessment. This is the IBM
Enter
Equal
leaving menus.
Access
Cooling closed vertical bar
accessibility
men's cool
checker.
clothing vertical bar Arctic cool dash scan alt plus S button.
Now I'm gonna hit on the scan button.
Enter main region.
Just taking time for the automation to scan this website against the success criteria that automation can test against. And just so you know, there's about 50 success criteria to be compliant. Automation cannot test all of them. However, it can find about 50% or so, give or take, in the total
Main region
violations.
Scan alt plus S options button menu collapsed.
So,
Violation graphic 49.
49 confirmed accessibility compliance violations. 49.
Needs review graphic 4.
We need 4 things that need
Recommendation
review.
graphic 1.
And just 1 recommendation. Now, as you guys were seeing, as I was manually testing, there's a lot of other issues going on with this website. And as we get further and further and further into the buying process, you will start to see some of those. Now, 49 violations, a website accessibility lawyer is going to see this and immediately send you a demand letter and saying, you've got all these problems. He's going to copy some of these problems here listed, and then he's going to put them in a letter and he's going to email it to you. And then that's what you get. You get an email from a lawyer that says, you're out of website compliance. We're going to sue you unless you settle outside of court.
F12, cooling
So,
closed vertical bar
coming out of this,
virtual piece.
what I want to show you guys specifically is, Huli, can you click on like that product that they're advertising, the women's 3/4 sleeve shirt, or any product rather?
Cooling closed vertical bar men's cool clothing vertical bar Arctic cool dash. This feature is only available from within a Rev back in stock women's for screen dash. Back in stock men's cooling crew neck tee dash shirt heading level 1.
Okay, so here we are with this crew shirt, this crew neck shirt.
Our cooling crew neck tee that $26.24, $34.99. You save 25% left parent $8.75 right parent.
So they're saying it's discounted.
Style. List of 2 items. Link sale colors. Link closeout colors. List end. Color polar blue. $26.24. $34.99. Size select a size. Link size guide. S. M.
All right, so here we are. We're going to try to select a size. Okay, so we got
S.
small for S. That's an accessibility violation, even though we know that S means small.
S.
That doesn't S what, right? There's no interactive element here. I know visually because I've asked Huli in the past. I know that there's a checkbox here, but where do you hear checkbox in any of these sizes? I'm going to down arrow now. Listen for checkbox.
M. L. Sold out graphic. XL. Sold out graphic. XXL. Sold out graphic. XXXL. XXXL. Add to cart button unavailable.
Okay. Add to carton unavailable. This is important,
Add to cart button unavailable.
meaning I can't add an item to a cart, probably because I haven't selected a size, but I'm going to try to select small. That seemed to be in stock,
XX sold out. L M S
right?
M L sold out graphic.
Looks like large is sold out.
L M
So I'm going to go to
S.
small. I'm going to hit enter on this. Now, mind you, a layperson would not know to hit enter on this because they're not told to hit enter on this. There's no interactive element defined, even though visually it's here.
Enter. Men's short sleeve cooling tee dash shirt vertical bar Arctic Cool S.
So the fact that I got that screen reader feedback tells me that something happened, but here I am back at S. I don't know if anything happened. Huli, did the checkbox for the small, was that added correctly?
Yes, but you cannot add it to the cart yet.
Wow. Huli, that's interesting because I've got small selected. It seems to be in stock.
Link size $30 color
We've
colon
got
polar
the
blue.
color. We've got the color identified.
Color colon polar blue.
Polar blue. So what else do I need to do? I've selected the size. I've selected the color. I've selected the product.
Doll selling S M L so XL so XXS sold out XXXX add to cart button unavailable.
Why is this add to cart button unavailable? Now, here's what happens when we turn off a screen reader. Julie, I'm going to turn off JAWS. You go ahead and make sure that the items are selected and then go ahead and add that item to cart, okay?
Okay.
All right, I'm turning off the screen reader now. You guys, pay attention at how quickly it takes Huli to do this.
Unloading jaw.
JAWS is unloaded.
So I clicked the S size again, and now the add to cart button is available.
Can you add the item to the cart, please?
Yes. So I already did it.
So what kind of friction is between your business and your customers that you may not know about? Digital accessibility compliance is one of those things. This is super important. There is the defensive side, right? You don't want to get sued. I don't want you to get sued. That's why we created the compliance guide for you guys to steal all of our stuff and implement it. But the more important thing is, like, why not enable our customers, all customers, not just people with disabilities, but why not enable all customers to have a smooth and seamless customer experience? That's the offense. That's the opportunity with website accessibility compliance. So I want to stop here. And Dana, if it's okay, I'd like to open it up to questions, comments, and if you guys have anything specific, I want you to be super, super duper selfish, right? This is the opportunity to get whatever question you have answered and be super selfish about your business. I want to dive in and provide even more value to you. So Dana, do you mind opening it up for questions?
Sure. And Becky, you're too.
Yes, I'm here. Yes. So maybe Tanner, if you want to unshare your screen,
Yes. Huli, can you help me out with that?
or
Sorry.
I might
Can
be
you-
able.
If you put the focus on the
Oh,
Zoom.
I think I
thing.
can do it.
Okay.
Oh wait, where can
I turned off my screen reader. I'll come back. I got it.
I? Okay.
JAWS. Arctic inbox F up screen sharing meeting alt S.
There you go.
Title is JAWS Home and screen sharing meeting controls. More button dropped alt S.
You're good. That's
Perfect.
perfect.
All
Okay.
right.
So does anybody have any questions? You can either put them in the chat, you can take yourself off mute at this point. I just have one comment. Because
Yeah.
I do, unfortunately, I do a lot of shopping online, and I just think that was really interesting. I never realized that individuals can have so much difficulty, because I know even when I'm shopping, sometimes if it doesn't work quite right the first time, it's very annoying and I'm gone.
Yep.
So,
It's true. It's true. I mean, I I'd probably spent 15 to 20 minutes just trying to check out on this website on my mobile device before I was like, I give up, and, Rebecca, I think that your experience is probably more, in alignment with what real customers do, right? Disabled customers are going to give you the benefit of the doubt. They're going to try to be creative and come up with solutions, and they know it's going to be hard, right? But there's only so much patience that a person has, and some they don't care. You're not accessible, they're gone.
So I see Bob Small, you took yourself off mute. Did you want
I-
to say something?
I do. Thank you.
You're
Um,
welcome.
s- yeah, so I'm a member of the Morristown Jewish Center and am in the process of doing a major facelift on their website, which was beyond awful. And now it's only awful. And so I have been doing what I can. The website is rendered in WordPress.
Okay.
And so I've inherited themes and templates that have a lot of accessibility issues that are already baked in that I
Yeah.
don't really have a way around. Because we're a not-for-profit organization, being sued isn't really the issue. But we would like to be as accessible as we can be. So I am in the process of taking care of the things that I can control, like having robust descriptions of what links do and buttons and that kind of stuff, and having alt text for all images, that kind of stuff. But you have any advice about dealing with WordPress themes that were written years ago before accessibility was top of mind?
Yeah, so it shouldn't, if you do have control over the website, you should be able to change the theme. There may be implications when you make that change.
Right.
Specifically, like, hey, we set this content up based on this theme.
Right.
So because we switch themes, we switch the underlying thing.
Right.
The content that was built on top of that may change and may require some other accessibility updates, or even just some content updates or stylized updates, etc. But I would recommend switching to a template that has accessibility in mind, and there are free versions of that. Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, totally.
One other question, if I may. What do you think about sticky headers as an accessibility issue?
I think it really gets down to user preference. So, personally, I mean, sticky headers don't affect me because all that is doing is visually sliding the header down programmatically. Nothing really changes for a screen reader. With regards to, at least in my experience, with regards to how, a speech to text or, a different assistive technology engages with that, I don't know. And also, in complete transparency, I'm not a certified expert. If that puts any color behind exactly how good our certified experts are, everybody on my team who tests websites, who actually does this as their job, they're certified. So they're Yoda, and I am, I'm not even Luke Skywalker. I'm like Luke Skywalker's cousin. So I would say that this is my user-based insights. From a technical compliance perspective. I don't know what the success criteria, what the compliance standards say about sticky headers. But from my personal experience, I don't see a problem with it at all.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. And thanks for the webinar. It's very informative.
Thank you, Bob. Appreciate your engagement.
Thank you for joining us. Does anybody else have any questions or?
Hello.
Yes, Angel, we have you.
Angel, yes, my name is Angel. I already graduated from the Joseph Cohn Training Center. My counselor invited me to participate with this webinar. I'm sorry for my accent because my first language is Spanish, but I can try it.
Sure.
Just two little questions. The first one is, how can I find this webinar share in the future if I can show this to other classmate, or maybe further customer that I can help with any digital accessibility. If you if you will share this webinar in any social media. And the second one is, how can I keep in touch you?
Perfect. So two questions. One is, where can you find the recording for this webinar if it's available so you can share it with others? And then two, how to stay in touch with me?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
It
So
will.
how to stay in touch with me, my email, Julie, do you mind dropping my email in the chat? And I'll dictate it for those who are audio only. But my email is tanner.gers@accessabilityofficer.com. And then on socials, I'm everywhere at Tanner Gers, TANNERGERS. I'm probably
Great.
most active on LinkedIn, but yeah, email or LinkedIn is definitely the best places to find me. And then Dana, where where can people find this in the future?
You know what, I think, Becky, will we be posting it online? Do you know, we'll figure
So
out a
I
way.
don't do that, but we'll.
Yeah,
We'll try to figure out a way. I know that JVS does have a YouTube channel. And we
Yes.
can actually talk with some of the other folks at JVS to see if we can post this on that YouTube channel.
And the other thing, oh, I'm sorry, Becky.
No, I was just gonna say, just so that Tanner knows, Angel is talking about the rehab center. So that is a training center in New Brunswick, New Jersey, that is actually run by the New Jersey Commission for the Blind. So that they do lots of activities of daily living, training for people who are newly visually impaired, all kinds of different kinds of services that they provide at that site. So thank you for joining us, Angel. It's good to know that you were with us.
Absolutely. So glad to be here, and congratulations. This was an amazing webinar. So God bless you, and thanks for all.
And Angel, if you want to, I don't know if you have access, if you want to email me your information when we find out how this is available, I can let you know.
Okay, I will do. I will do.
I don't know if you have access to the chat box for my email.
But who am I
And we have
speaking with?
Angel's email.
Oh, we have never mind. That's right. We have your email because you registered. So
Yeah,
Dana
yeah.
will make a note, and once we know how to get this webinar, we will make sure that we let you know and give you the link.
Perfect. Sound great. Thank you. Thank you
And
so
you know,
much.
the other thing I think that we didn't get to share with everybody is that Tanner put together a document for everybody who registered on all of the DIY stuff. So Tanner, you could tell a little bit about your sheet, but we'll make sure that everybody who was on this call gets his handout.
Yeah. Let's see. Let's
You have started screen share.
get
The
over
offense vs
to
defensive
the,
website.
compliance guide.
Page down.
Let's see.
Participants F5. Slide notes graphic. Sonia Kimball.
Julie, can you request control of my screen and then get over to the QR code on the slide deck?
You're already showing the
So the
QR code.
QR code is
Okay.
showing, yes.
Okay. So
And sorry, go ahead.
no,
No.
please.
And I send the same link through chat.
Awesome.
And we'll also email it to everybody too. So you have a choice of getting it a bunch of different ways.
Totally.
And thank you so much for putting that together, Tanner. Great information.
It's my pleasure. It's
Valerie Wagner has left the meeting.
What my life's purpose is.
From Gilda Stober to everyone, thank you.
You're so welcome. Thank you for joining. Well, and if there's any other questions, you guys want to take it private or reach out direct or have some sensitive information, would love to help. Would love to help you along your accessibility journey. There's a ton of free resources on our website, whether it's Word document accessibility or how to buy like
Lisa
procurement
Walker.
processes for buying accessibility
The
or buying digital websites and services with accessibility in mind, and even the DIY digital accessibility compliance guide. So there's a ton of free resources out there, my website and others. But I'm so grateful for everybody showing up today's presentation and learning and engaging. It really, really means the world.
Thank you so much, Tanner. We really appreciate your presenting to us on this really important topic. And I certainly learned a lot about it. I don't think I'm going to look at a website quite
Caitlin
the
Krumike
same
has left
way.
the meeting.
So I really appreciate it. And thank you to everybody who joined us today. You will be getting, I believe, a follow-up email
Yes,
from
yes.
Dana.
From Christian Barcelos to everyone, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, Tanner. Wonderful presentation.
Yeah.
Very informative.
Christian Barcelos has left the meeting.
All right, y'all. Well, I hope y'all
Leanne Bass
all
has-
have a great rest of your week. Thank you again for joining.
Paul Sikala.
And, I hope more accessible websites are in our near future.
Thank you again.
Here, here.
Title is the-
Take care, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for joining.